Hey, Ryan. Saw a little bit of Will Sanders on the left side, Wilkin Formby at guard, and Michael Carroll at right tackle. Curious about especially Wilkin kind of cross-training at guard and tackle, what you've seen out of him over the last few weeks to make that happen.
Yeah, Wilkin obviously has the athleticism to play inside and the size. So I think there's a couple things that happen for Wilkin in there. He is natural pad level because he's got his hand in the dirt, and he's got a good base and wide frame. So he's really done a nice job in there. So we're going to keep working on that and expand. As long as he can stay right-handed, play on the right side, I think that the transition for him is easy.
Jump to the right side, Nick.
Yeah, the Caden Proctor play calls that an Iowa guy give another Iowa guy an opportunity,
Yeah.
or what went into that decision there?
Well, I mean, KP, first of all, any play like that, the only way I do stuff like that is if it's guys that I trust. And obviously Jeremy Bernard, KP are guys that are trustworthy, and they know if they trick off the rep in practice or, they're not good with the football and they're not secure, then we just won't do it. So KP took it very seriously. He knew he had the ball in the outside arm, knew how to protect it. I think he's a super athletic guy. I mean, it was just fun. I wish he could have scored, but, the guys are excited to block for him. I knew he'd have a chance to run over, one or two or three people. And down there tight in the red zone, those are tough yards to get. I thought it was a huge play. It was I think we're on the 13, and so, you're first and 10 on the 13-yard line. You get a first down right there. Now you're first and goal on the 2. Those are tough yards down there. So I thought it was a good opportunity, not necessarily something they probably saw was coming.
Jumping back to the left side, Chase.
All offensive line questions so far.
Good.
So we're seeing you guys rotate on the offensive line. Conventional wisdom is just roll with 5 for cohesiveness sake. And y'all seem to not only be rotating, but the rotation seems to be expanding instead of contracting toward the conventional 5. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, we're just still not where we want to be yet. It's really that simple. And so I know the gel part, but we also have guys that wear down a little bit. So I'm trying to keep guys as fresh as possible and at the same time find the best 5. And so for us, I think there's a little bit too. You don't know what you got until you get some of those young guys in the game. Michael Carroll's got to play. Will's got to play, and we don't know how good they are or what they can do till they get in the football game. So we've been kind of falling back on that a little bit and seeing, that challenge, that competition, see if that can spur in a little bit more production.
Let's go to Katie, second row on the left.
One of the things y'all told us back in camp, why Ty won the job, is how well he done protecting the football through 4 games. He doesn't have a turnover. Just what have you seen from him in that area? And what's kind of the balance for the quarterback if you wanted to be aggressive and make plays, but also be smart with the ball?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's a really, really tiny sliver in great quarterback play and understanding like when to be aggressive with the football, when to take care of the ball, and that's the whole thing. And that's what Ty's still working on. I think he's doing a really good job. And you'd rather work a guy back from that and have him make the aggressive throws and teach him those reads versus a guy that turns the ball over. So I know Ty has that aggression in him and has the ability to make those throws. So I just think he's operating at a really high level. He had one play. I thought the boot, obviously, early on the first drive back to his right was by far, Ty would tell you the same thing. It was the worst play he had all night. And, luckily it didn't get in their hands. But, for him, I thought that actually, dialed him in for the rest of the game. He's like, okay, I know what I got to do. And he made all those plays. He made all the reads that he needed to and didn't put the ball in jeopardy.
Let's go to Alex, back row on the right.
A little bit of a two-part question. What do you think of Jam coming back? And then also, how do you get more explosive runs out of that running game that's consistently getting you 2 and 3 yards, but how do you get more out of that group?
Yeah, first of all, with Jam, his presence just at practice and, maturity, just – the work ethic that he brings was a huge part of the preparation part for the week, which is the most important part. And, on game day, obviously, when he's back there, he had a couple pressure pickups in the backfield where he was just so solid and knew exactly what the check was going to be. And I thought overall we did a really good job protecting Ty, and Jam's a huge part of that. So, obviously, clutch play at the end, but then running the ball, I just thought – he did a good job, dimpling for 4 or 5 yards at a time, when there wasn't huge creases in there, and we just got to do a better job finding ways to get him more of those one-on-one, matchups where the ball's on the corner, ball's on a safety. I think we got 4 of those in the game. You're looking to try to get 8 to 9 of those a game where you can get the football on a secondary player so that they can break a tackle and get into the open. And that's really it. We got to get through and get 6-on-6 on the inside somehow with our big bodies, and then find a way to get jam on those DBs.
Let's go to Ryan, front and left.
Hey, Coach, I'm going to stick with the offensive line theme. It looks like Georgia was doing a lot of twisting, and the communication was pretty solid Saturday.
Yeah.
What'd you see?
Yeah, just that. And I think that was a huge part of a big emphasis. They do a good job, very creative scheme at Georgia. And so we knew that was going to be a huge challenge up front, is being able to communicate, especially not just the pressures, but the twists, as you mentioned, up front. And I didn't feel like even in the run game, I think we had three negative yardage runs or 0 gains. So, we weren't getting hit in the backfield, both throwing the football and running in. And it always starts with the communication piece. And I thought, not necessarily the first part of the preparation, the first week, but I thought like as the week went this last week, I thought they really dialed it in and did a good job. And, it all starts with Parker, and he does such a phenomenal job of that.
Let's go to Joe. Sorry, middle left.
Coach, sticking with the same theme of running the football, you used a lot of screens and misdirections and kind of rollouts. Can you talk about using those and getting creative to kind of extend the running game, finding other ways to get your guys the ball in space?
Yeah, as always, I don't think it's anything earth-shattering, but you get the defense having to run to the football, stress them out, get them moving to the sideline a little bit, and then you try to get vertical on them. And I thought we did a good job of stretching them and moving them around. And to Georgia's credit, they did their integrity on the inside remained the same. On some defenses, they'll compromise, and they held up pretty strong in the second half on that.
Right behind there, Travion.
Can you talk about, from an offensive line standpoint, not giving up any pressure, sacks, or anything like that? Can you just talk about what that does for the confidence of the group moving forward as Alabama moves forward in the SEC play?
Yeah, that's you said it well. Confidence. When they execute against a defense like Georgia, to all the different pressures and stunts and looks that they got, because I thought Georgia kind of emptied the clip a little bit as far as like looks and pressures and things that they did, and the guys responded. We drug up everything. We were pulling out clips from 2022 Ohio State game, and anything that we thought we could possibly see, we put out there at practice, and the guys are ready. And so I think moving forward, they know they can make the adjustments on the sideline, which is probably as important as anything, because there's going to be a look that we haven't practiced, and they did a really nice job of that.
All right, we'll finish up with Will, second row on the left.
Coach, I'm sorry to disappoint. It's not an offensive line question, but I wanted to get your thoughts on that breakaway play that Latsier made at the end of the first half, a situation where at first it looked like he could have been dead to rights behind the sticks in the middle of the field. Instead, gets 20-plus yards and gets out of bounds, helps keep that drive going in the way that he did.
Yeah, those are the kind of plays you got to have in a big game, obviously. You want to get the touches to the right guys, and Latsier is a guy that, is a missed tackle force machine, and that's one of the things we look at every week are who are the guys getting touches, who are the guys breaking tackles, because when it's not perfect, which it wasn't on that play, you need a guy that's going to somehow make the play for you, and Lottie is, since the day I've seen him running around out here, he's definitely got a knack to do that. So he's got good ball security. He plays through contact. He does not expect to be tackled. He's more powerful than people, anticipate, and he's just a really, really sudden guy. So he did a great job. Had a great game. Made some really good special teams plays too.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet. Have a good day.